Hi there, this is Steve Bhaerman. You may know me a little bit better by my cosmic comic alter ego name, Swami Beyondananda, and today I'm here to talk to you about something slightly more serious than what Swami would talk about, and that is the amazing evolutionary passageway, December 22nd, 2012, the great shift, the shift of the ages. Well, as Swami would say, shift happens. So what is this shift all about? Why is it happening? My colleague, Bruce Lipton, he and I wrote a book called Spontaneous Evolution, Our Positive Future, and a Way to Get There from Here. Bruce Lipton says that crisis precipitates evolution. And if we look around us at the various crises in the world, we would see that the chances of precipitation are about 100%. So what does that mean? Well, it means that there are great changes going on in the planet right now. And if we align ourselves with those changes, if we allow the structures in our lives that are no longer serving us, that are obsolete, that perhaps we've been clinging to, if we allow these structures to go, to fall by the wayside, we can replace them with something that's far more authentic, far more real, and far more who we really are. What's happening in the world right now is a lot like the transformation of the caterpillar to the butterfly. In her book, Butterfly, Nori Huddle, years ago, wrote about the imaginal cells, which are the new cells of the butterfly organism. And as the caterpillar is in the stage of metamorphosis, as it's in the chrysalis, the caterpillar begins to fall apart. The cells begin to dissolve, and perhaps we can look at the chaos that we're facing right now as similar to the caterpillar falling apart. Those institutions in society that are too big to not fail seem to be falling apart. And what's happening is that these new cells, called imaginal cells, the first cells of the butterfly organism, are beginning to emerge and connect up and link together and are beginning to form this new vision for humanity, this new evolved vision. So we're looking at this passageway of December 22nd, 2012 as an opportunity to declare an evolution, to actually say that at this moment spontaneous evolution is happening, that as the shift of the ages takes place, we are now more attuned to the signal of the butterfly than the signal of the caterpillar. And in living into this new reality, we recognize that we are gathering under one big intent: thrival for one and all. We're all in this together. We are all cells in this newly emerging organism called humanity. So as we make this passage, what can we do? Well, in our book, Spontaneous Evolution, Bruce Lipton and I offered a 3-step plan because, frankly, there's not enough time for 12 steps. And in this 3-step plan, we have 3 evolutionary steps that we each can take: evolutionary awareness, evolutionary intention, and evolutionary practice. So what do we mean by that? Well, the awareness is simply that what is happening right now is perhaps the greatest evolution, the greatest conscious evolution in recorded history, as we human beings begin to think like a species. We realize that we have caused so much impact on the planet by acting like a species, like a wild species, out of control, operating outside the matrix, the web of life, that now we need to aggregate all of our goodwill, all of our intelligence, all of our knowledge, all of our wisdom together and begin to live as if we are a species and as if we are in connection with the natural world. And the changes that we see happening around us are evolutionary changes. The Hopi prophecies, very interestingly, talk about this time, and they talk about what is happening right now as being a fast-moving river. What we used to call the flow is now a rapidly moving river. And this fast-moving river is really moving things along very, very quickly. And it makes no sense to cling to the shore at this time. It makes more sense to go with the flow of the river, to keep our heads above water and to see who is in the river with us. And so as we look around us, what are the resources that we have? Who are the cohorts, the people who we cherish, who are in the river with us, who are ready to be part of our community? As we recognize, as we have this awareness that we are living in an evolutionary time, we then move to the second step, which is evolutionary intention. What do we intend? How do we intend to live? Do we intend to live the old story that no longer works? Or do we intend to live into this amazing new evolutionary story where we release our power of trying to control things and focus on magnetism instead? What used to be called leverage has now transformed to loverage. What can we attract through the magic of connection, of blending, of being at peace with, as opposed to being at odds with? The third and very, very important step, is what we call evolutionary practice. What do we do every day to weave our mission, our vision, our gifts, our talents, and our heart's desire into a web of mass construction, the new butterfly organism that is emerging? What do we do every day? And what do we do every day, even more importantly, to connect our own hearts with the divine, with the one spirit? Trudy and I, my wife Trudy and I, recently became refamiliarized with a very, very powerful practice, a practice of release and forgiveness, and it's the Hawaiian practice of Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. And what that means is making right what is right. In other words, releasing all of our stories, releasing all of the grievances that we have hung on to, and allowing those to dissolve in a field of love, in a warm solution of love, because love is the warm solution that we share. And so it's a very simple practice. It involves 4 statements. First statement is, I'm sorry. Then, I love you. Then, please forgive me. And finally, I thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. When I hear those words, when Trudy and I repeat those words over to one another, what we're really doing is we're talking to ourselves. We're talking to the millennia-long patterns that are now up for release, the things that we've held on to, the stories that we've clung to, the victim story, the perpetrator story, the me versus you story. And now these stories are all up for release through this simple process. And so as we go through this amazing time when the structures that perhaps we've relied on over time seem to not be working anymore, where the things that we've done, the beliefs that we've had, perhaps even our spiritual paths seem to be ready for an update. Let's look at the 3 steps once again. Evolutionary awareness. Evolution is happening. Ready or not, here it comes. Join the uprising. Number 2, evolutionary choice. Making the decision to choose love in every moment rather than to fall back into our prior default of fear. Finally, evolutionary practice. Something that connects us with spirit every day, and some way for us to weave our vision, our mission, our heart's desire into a web of mass construction that is emerging. I hope to see you all one way or the other on the internet, around the outer net, in this coming year 2013, and I wish you a happy evolution. Thank you, and as the Swami would say, may the farce be with you.